As more businesses begin to bring their employees back, the state still has no set safety and health standards for dealing with COVID-19 in the workplace. That led to hundreds of complaints filed against employers across the Commonwealth. NBC 29's Matt Tallhelm investigates.
We obtained these coronavirus complaints from the Virginia Department of Labor and Industry through a Freedom of Information Act request. They reveal worried workers and employers rushing to adapt to a rapidly changing situation in the first weeks of the pandemic. The rumble of raw wood planks remains nonstop through the mill at American Woodmark.
We will rip it and chop it, and we will turn it into parts for people's cabinets.
The company's facility in Orange hasn't slowed down through the coronavirus pandemic.
Being declared an essential business, everybody wanted to run home and hide in their house for a little while.
Keeping 242 employees protected from the virus falls on manufacturing director Adam Kell.
We've marked the floor in several locations where we've told them it's 6 foot distancing. It allows them to line up, especially at the end of the day, to make sure that they're staying safe and they're keeping apart from each other.
One-way arrows and signs control the flow through the facility's walkways. Plexiglass guards separate workers in areas where social distancing is difficult.
They can't physically touch each other, they can't physically be in proximity, but they can still see each other and do the work that they have to do.
Employees sit far apart in the break room. 3 social distancing auditors go through the mill 3 times a shift to make sure employees are following 6 feet of separation.
And it took a lot of coaching. I mean, we're not perfect. We're still out there auditing every day, making sure people are wearing their masks, making sure people are keeping their distances, make sure everybody is staying where they need to be.
Kell says the mill put many of these protocols in place even before it became the subject of an employee's safety complaint filed with the Virginia Department of Labor and Industry. The March 24th complaint alleged the company wasn't following social distancing, didn't increase cleaning, and did not properly identify and isolate potentially infectious employees.
I think it was more a reaction of fear from some employees that we had, but we took it very seriously. It was something that we said, let's make sure we're addressing this, let's make sure that we're doing everything correctly.
The department closed its investigation into the complaint after the company showed the efforts it's taking. It's one of the 106 COVID-19 related complaints filed across the Commonwealth in the first few weeks of the pandemic in March and April. That number soared to 423 complaints by the end of May. The department is investigating 7 deaths and 4 hospitalizations related to COVID-19 in the workplace.
This is a widespread concern that it's not something we obviously handle on a day-to-day basis, but I think we've done a very good job using the resources that we have at the agency.
One challenge for workplace safety inspectors is noted in letters sent by the department to employers facing complaints. There currently is no Virginia law, standard, or regulation specifically designed to address the COVID-19 virus. That's still true today, 3 months into the pandemic. Instead, the department encourages employers and employees to follow recommendations from the feds, which changed frequently in the early weeks of the pandemic.
We found that employers are well knowledgeable of the requirements that they need to have in place to protect their employees.
We obtained records for the 6 complaints the department found as valid involving companies in Central Virginia and the Shenandoah Valley. The most common concerns related to social distancing, cleaning, and how companies reacted to employees showing possible symptoms of COVID-19. The department notified Plow and Hearth in Madison County about a March 31st complaint alleging it was holding group meetings and not practicing social distancing.
When you got word of the complaint from an employee about the situation there, what was your first immediate response?
Well, obviously to understand kind of what the nature of their concerns were and how we might be able to address them.
One of the company's COVID policies is no visitors inside its facility.
Signage at the front here, warning people not to come in if they're not feeling well.
So CEO Leslie Newton and the Human Resources Director guided us on a virtual tour to show us its safety protocols.
Our team here to take temperatures, and there's a social distancing reminder behind them.
X's taped to the floor measure 6 feet in the distribution center, where about 100 people are working to fulfill the home and garden retailers' surge in online orders.
A couple areas we had to kind of rethink the way we were doing things, where individuals might be closer.
Upstairs, the call center is nearly deserted.
They're only working at every other station and are therefore 6 feet apart.
A quarter of the center staff is working from home for the first time.
There were a couple of real sort of panic situations. The first time that somebody went home with fever, what do we do? What's the protocol? And so we've had to work through all of those situations.
New employees are required to test for COVID-19. Plow and Hearth expects to continue these protocols into the holidays when it brings in several hundred seasonal workers.
We wanted to make sure that our employees feel safe coming to work. I believe that they do. That's kind of our responsibility as employers.
Back at the mill, Kell encourages employers to openly communicate with their workers about the threat of COVID-19 and demonstrate daily how to keep them safe and healthy.
Don't mess around with it. I mean, people see it right away on the floor. They know if you're taking it seriously, they're going to take it seriously as well.
The State Safety and Health Codes Board will consider proposed COVID-19 standards during an emergency meeting Wednesday. The 35-page document sets standards based on an employee's risk level for exposure to the virus. All employers would be required to follow procedures for sanitation and disinfecting, as well as for when an employee tests positive for COVID-19 or antibodies. Matt Tallhelm, NBC 29 News.